Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the new drug today is a win for the JU Dolphins. We'll talk about that. Hays and I were on hand last night. They're in the Final Four of the Atlantic Sun. We'll talk a little college hoop, among other things. Florida State and Clemson have an agreement with the ACC. I'll get to that. All kind of fun stuff, and we're going to have fun today.
That's what I hear.
Till Daddy takes the T-Bird away.
Please explain.
JJ, did that reference mean anything to you or no?
I know the song "Fun, Fun, Fun." I'm
Okay.
assuming that's a line from that.
You can't sneak one by JJ.
You can't.
You can try and go inside.
God only knows what I do without him.
Oh, look at you.
wow.
Look at you.
Oh, so
you know what?
good.
Well played. Well played. So, yeah, Mike Love from the Beach Boys is going to, we think, join us today in the 5 o'clock hour. The Beach Boys will be in St. Augustine on March 8th on Saturday, which comes up in about 4 days. So that's really a cool thing. So the Beach Boys coming to Jacksonville this Saturday night, the Jacksonville area. They'll be in St. Augustine on March 8th, which is a cool thing. And that's very, very cool. They're doing a tour. God bless them. You know, God bless these bands who've been around since the 60s. They're still playing. So it'll be, I've never talked to Mike Love before, so I look forward to doing it. So that comes up. That comes up today on the program. All right, all kind of other fun things to talk about today as we get to it. I do want to get in a little bit to more free agency than draft for me. I know everybody loves the draft this time of year.
We got time.
But yeah, we do.
In 10 days, free agency is going to be beyond us.
Yeah,
so
correct.
that's hotter.
And I just think the draft is in the thoughts on the draft. I know people love it. There's 1,000 mocks out there, and everybody's talking about 5 overall. But I just think draft talk is incomplete when you don't know what the team will have done in free agency. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it's a big component of the offseason. So, yeah, I mean, the free agency, I think it's because this is why I think Jaguar fans are sort of glossing over free agency, because the positions that their team is probably going to be interested in aren't sizzle positions, right guard, safety, second corner, those kind of things. And the market's not very good. So it's not like I remember when this fan base went crazy with the idea of getting Alex Mack at center. So if there is an elite player, even if it's at a non-premier position, I think the fan base gets really excited about it. But I just think the market's bad, and, the Jaguars are not going to be huge spenders like maybe they have been in years past. So I think everything with that has kind of gotten a lot of people just going ahead and peeking towards the draft.
Well,
but
and that's because people love the draft.
Sure, yeah. But there's no doubt the Jaguars are going to make a decision in the next 10 to 12 days that is going to radically change the offseason, in my opinion. Correct. Somebody that they sign will fill a void, and in, I think, a way that you're like, okay, well, they're not going to be as motivated to invest a big pick here.
All right, so to that end, expounding on what you just said, okay, what's the name, in your opinion, that is most associated with the Jags in the fan base, in the national media, on mocks? What's the name most associated with the Jags at 5 overall? The name you hear the most.
At 5 overall?
5 overall.
Oh, Mason Graham.
Okay. What if the Jags, and I don't think they're going to spend this kind of money, but for the sake of the conversation, what if the Jags on the first day of free agency sign Milton Williams? Okay. Then all the Mason Graham talk goes away. It has to go away. There's no chance they would sign Milton Williams, roundly regarded as the best defensive tackle in free agency. He's only 26 years old. There's no chance they sign him in free agency. I say no chance. I guess there's always a chance, but it's highly unlikely that you sign Milton Williams in free agency for what would now be a bunch of money and then draft Mason Graham, right? So
yes.
That's the point. I mean, it could be 1,000. So as much as I think it's going to be Mason Graham, if all of a sudden they signed Milton Williams, it's not going to be Mason Graham. So let's see what happens next week. I'm very, and I'm with you. I think there will be. You don't make a splash just to make a splash, but if you're following the evidence of the fall, Hays suggests that this is go man go time. This is aggressive. This is we're going to move on from our coach. We're going to move on from our GM. We are going to bring in an executive vice president who is a really football savvy guy. We are going to bring in a a young coach who is as upwardly mobile as they come. We're going to bring in a young general manager who is as upwardly mobile as they come. This is go, man, go, and let's be aggressive and let's attack and go, 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 go. Well, if that's the mindset and that's the vibe, then they're going to be there will be a splash in free agency. And again, I haven't heard that, but reality tells you that's what the evidence, at least to this point, suggests.
And Shad Khan is going to be open to spending. This is a new administration. He's not going to sit there and say, hey, guys, we need to sit free agency out. He's never done that. He hinted at, I want to say maybe training camp last year, he sort of hinted at, we need to be done with free agency. But that was more reflective of a coach and a GM that were now entrenched and, should have been drafting and developing players so that the need in free agency wasn't as great. So I've heard people kind of bring up that comment from Shad Khan. I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that. I think with a new GM, a new head coach, look, my guess is those two guys have probably gone through the roster and found deficiencies that we don't see, right. But things that just it doesn't fit their eye like it did Peterson and Balky. And so we really don't know. I mean, maybe they're going to sign 8 or 9 free agents, maybe not of huge money, but the quantity will be a pretty good chunk of money because they feel like they've got way more holes than maybe what they even thought when they took the job.
Yeah.
So we just don't know, but they're going to spend. Now, if Liam Cohen and James Gladstone feel like the roster's in a pretty good place, then the Jaguars might absolutely target 2 of the top 6 free agents in terms of money and go after them. But I absolutely think Shad Khan is going to spend. You don't build this kind of positive momentum and then see an owner who was always spent say, hey guys, I know you really think that receiver could help us, but I don't want to spend the money. So I think whatever Liam Cohen and James Gladstone want to do, they will be able to do it because Shad Khan will write the signing bonus check.
Yeah, and I do get the sense, we'll see, but I do get the sense that that's kind of where this thing is headed. So we'll certainly talk about that. I love the fact that free agency is now the legal tampering, which, by the way, free agency technically starts Wednesday at 4, which is a week from tomorrow, but not really. By Monday, Monday and Tuesday, you have a pretty good idea of the big moves that are coming in the league. So it's really a week from yesterday. We're really 6 days out from free agency. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the program. You and I witnessed it last night. What a terrific win for JU.
Absolutely.
Down 11 and really down 13 in the half. Cut it to 11 at the half. Trailed by 11 at the half. Won the game by 11. And 2 or 3 things. And so now, and by the way, they caught a nice break. I didn't know this. The ASUN reseeds.
I didn't know that either.
So what that means is it's not the bracket doesn't matter. What matters is after this first round that the best seed team plays the lowest seeded team. And so for that reason, Queens upset Gulf Coast.
6-3.
Yeah, 6 beat the 3. So instead of JU, the 4 having to go to play the 1, it's set up so the 1 plays the 4 and the 2 plays the 3. That's the way it's set up. But when the 3 lost, now the 6 plays the 1. So JU, Lipscomb, I think, is clearly the best team in the league. JU now doesn't have to go to Lipscomb. They go to North Alabama, who they split with. And the game they lost, they didn't have Steph Payne. And we saw last night they're a different team when he's in the game.
Absolutely. When they were down 11 at the half, Payne in 7 minutes on the court was +9.
That was amazing. That was an amazing stat. He was +9 in a game they were down 11, and he played 7 minutes was in the half.
Yeah, he was a total spark in that first half, and then it carried over. And his teammates McCray was unbelievable in the second half. He just took over the game.
What a good player Rob McCray is. I mean, and this is a conversation for after the season. But Rob McCray's got another year of college if he wants to. JU will do everything in its power to keep him. Payne can too. They could all come. Most of those guys can come back. But I do wonder, and JU people don't get mad at me for this because I'm a big JU fan, you know that. But I wonder if he tests the transfer waters, what he would get. I mean, Chaz Lanier got Tennessee. Chaz Lanier from UNF got one of the best teams in college basketball. I wonder what if and I hope Rob stays here. He might go to the NBA, by the way. My guess is he's going to go ahead and test the NBA. But if not, because he's 43rd on a draft list I saw, which means he's a second rounder, you know. But I wonder what could he wind up at an Alabama, Auburn, wherever?
I would think he would certainly have that chance if he wants to go after it.
Yeah, I would too. But a great win for JU last night. They now go to play North Alabama Thursday night. Queens plays Lipscomb Thursday night. And the two winners of those games. And again, JU split with North Al. And the game they lost, they didn't have Payne. They will have him tomorrow night. JU could very well be playing Lipscomb on Sunday in Nashville. And oh, by the way, if JU wins and if Queens pulls another upset, they're at Swisher.
It's here.
I mean, is ESPN2 rolling into Swisher? Bring that big truck?
That'd be awesome.
That big truck, roll that thing into Swisher is what they would be doing. That'd be pretty cool. So we'll see if it winds up happening that way. Congratulations to JU as they move along. We'll certainly talk about that. We'll talk Gator basketball coming up in a bit as well. But I'm going to start with some football, essentially football, more university-wide. Florida State and Clemson have reached an agreement with the ACC. Why did it happen? How did it happen? Did FSU, through all this process, help themselves? Did they hurt themselves? Was it all for naught? Is nothing changed? I got a lot of thoughts about that. I know you will too. But FSU and Clemson have reached an agreement with the ACC. Lawsuits are over. There is no more lawsuit. There is no more leaving the league. If they want to leave in 5 years, it'll cost them less. And they've agreed to that. And the league's agreed to that. But for the here and now, FSU and Clemson are status quo. Very interesting story in the world of sports. We'll get to it after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Buick GMC. And as we begin 2025, Nimnick is excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. If you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Here's to another year of driving forward together. Looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value on your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the best time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. And man, you get all the makes and models: Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Trading in your old vehicle? Don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Oh, yes, we can. And yes, we will. Because we've got
1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors to get the job done right. Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit Coastal Equipment for a demo today.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rearview mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize that if we keep looking at the rearview mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rearview mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Julington Creek Road.
The Players, one of the biggest events on the PGA Tour, is right here in our backyard. So how much do you know about the tournament? How many balls landed in the water surrounding the Island Green last year? In all, 36 found the drink at 17, including Bo Hostler, who now owns the distinction of hitting the 1,000th ball in the water at the 17th Island Green. Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed-income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. A Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round one of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsored and administrator, Everbank N.A.
AC's broke. It ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnik Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon. JJ LaSelva with you. Hey, did you ever pick up that extra TV you said you were going to add?
Oh,
to
yeah.
the room?
Yeah, it was I got it today, actually.
Did you get it?
I did.
When did you get it?
I got it a couple hours ago.
You got it today?
I got it today. Went into the store.
Okay.
It's for like a side room, so it wasn't like something specific that I'm looking for. But
Where'd you get it?
I was at Costco.
Okay, so you got a car. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm in Costco, and I decide what I want. It's like a 55-inch Samsung.
Okay.
And so, so I'm talking to the gentleman that's helping me, and I said, I think I'll just get it delivered because I don't think it'll fit in my car.
Right.
And he's like, well, you can't actually do delivery here in person, but I think it'll fit in your car.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I have a more of like a smaller sedan kind of car.
Right.
And
so you guys debated this for a second.
Yeah, and he convinced me.
He won.
He won.
Right.
I mean, I'm sitting there. My calculator
You certainly
starts.
lost.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. My calculator starts. Well, I don't have to pay the delivery fee now, which I was counting on. So that's good. And so this guy's a professional.
Right.
So he's telling me. I mean, he obviously does this often. I buy a TV very irregularly, so I'm like, okay, he thinks it'll fit, so I buy the TV, and I'm taking it out. I've got that flatbed, kind of shopping cart thing that they give you.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm wheeling it to my car.
Put it in your car.
and I'm going to just throw it in the car and
sure.
get out of there.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, I'll be out in 30 seconds. Because the TV, it's amazing. They're not heavy anymore.
Yeah.
So like I can easily like move it. Like it's not difficult. So I'm putting it in the back seat, and it looks great. I mean, it looks like thing is it's going to be just perfect.
Piece of cake.
And sure enough, I can't get the door to close on my side.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, okay, well,
But you can squeeze it
but
in.
we're close here.
Yeah.
So I'll go to the other side. Surely there's an inch and a half or something like that. So I go to the other side, move it a little bit. Okay, now I've got the passenger door closed. Now I'm going to go and shut the driver's side, and it still doesn't shut.
Oh no!
So now we've got a problem.
Now what are we going
to do? Now Carlyon is really in trouble because I do not do well with anything that requires any sort of mental acuity.
And you were probably calm.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, I will say this. Thankfully, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Because normally when this happens to me, it's 107 degrees outside.
Right.
But it was nice out. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure I've had this car for many years, and I still have no idea if the back seat goes down because I don't ever.
Right.
I'm not handy at all. I don't do anything. I don't hunt. I don't fish.
So
I don't
overrated.
golf. I don't fix things.
I wouldn't.
You don't need to put a dead body back there.
Correct. So I put so sure enough, the back seat comes down. I'm like, okay, this will work. I'll just do it this way. I clean out my trunk. It's got a bunch of stuff in it that why it's in there I have no idea.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna slide the TV into the back.
Easy peasy.
Well, as it turns out, the engineers of this car decided that space is not going to be totally open. That there will be a hole in the middle that's totally open,
right?
But certainly not big enough for this TV. So that's out. So now I take it out of the trunk, and I have a dilemma because I'm not going to go in.
Sounds like a full-blown dilemma to me.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go back in and exchange the TV for like a slightly smaller one.
Right.
So I'm like, we're really close here. So this is what I came up with.
Okay.
I was like, well, I don't really need the box.
Right.
So
you
I
just throw it away anyway.
Opened the box, took the TV out, put it in the back seat. I took the box back up to the front. They were very nice. They're like, we'll take care of this for you.
You're in the parking lot yanking the TV out of the box.
Oh, it had to be. It had to be 10 minutes of pure comedy for anybody that was in the parking lot watching me, a total moron, go about how to figure out how to do this.
Or the specter of criminal activity, but please continue.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so luckily.
So you took it out of the box.
Took it out of the box, put it in the back seat. Okay. It fit fine without any issue.
Did you leave the box in the parking lot and say,
I took it back to the front of the store because I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't want to just leave it, and then make somebody else's job harder. So I was like, well, let me take it to the front. And if they won't take it, then I'll figure that problem out. And I went up to the front and talked to the gentleman at the front, and he was like, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. It's no big deal. And so I was very appreciative and went on about my business, and that was my day. In terms of
Where's it
buying
right now?
a TV.
It's in the car?
It's in the back seat of my car.
Is it like getting hot or anything?
Well,
what if
great
it's
question.
Ruined? What if it's like ruined?
Well, it probably will
piss
be.
You off? I mean,
because that will be it'll be me ruining it. Like I'll go to put it on. Like I still haven't mastered the putting it up on your wall.
Yeah.
But that's where this is going because the TV that's on the wall now that I did not put on the wall has to come down. So I'm sure that
you got a screwdriver.
Probably somewhere. But
Phillips head, flathead, one of the two. One of the two probably. Okay.
I think it's a Phillips head.
Please continue.
But anyway, so now the real problem, the TV is probably fine now.
Yeah.
Will the TV survive me taking the old TV down, putting this TV up?
Yeah.
That is very much in doubt.
Well, the best way to get rid of the TV is to put it in the new box.
That ship has sailed.
See, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, I was just going to throw the old TV in the pond in the back. I just figured, the bass
I want to go out today and just see this brand new TV sitting in the back of your car without the box. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So there's
how about the remote control? You have that?
I do.
It comes in the box.
Shockingly, I made a note of make sure everything is out of the box. So I took all the styrofoam out,
I get it.
and it was a whole thing. But yeah, I've got the remote. I've got the stand that I won't need, I don't think, but I do, I think, have everything. So I think we have met and overcome another crisis.
I just wish I had this visual of you.
I'm sure it was.
You in the parking lot, because I know how steamed you are. That face was so red.
Yeah.
It is so steamed
Yeah.
You couldn't get it in your car.
And we were so close.
Why
I mean,
can't I just? I just want to be right next door.
This was literally like giving Toby Gerhart the ball 4 times from the one. It's like, how are we not getting the inch we need here for this door to close?
I needed to be in the BJ's parking lot, standing up on the back of my bumper so I could watch you over those little trees they have there.
Right.
Just
well, and it was so
fighting,
embarrassing. Like,
so mad.
Well, like people are walking past.
Mad.
Like some people. I mean, Costco is a shop that normally you're in for a while. I mean, there's people that literally I've seen them get out of their car, walk into Costco, and they're walking back to their car. Yeah. And they're like, this idiot is still trying to figure this out.
Did you chew the guy out when you went back when you took a back?
I didn't. I mean, because
come on, buddy.
It was and I mean, ultimately, he was right. He just left out the detail of you might have to take it out of the box, but it'll fit. It did fit. I just don't have the box now.
You know, I know they say everything now is on camera. Camera catches everything, parking lot cameras. If I could get my hands on that,
you'd have quite a video.
I will write the biggest check I have to write just to have that. I'm willing to do that. So I'm glad you got your TV.
Yeah.
Florida State and Clemson agreed to a deal with the ACC. Here's the way it works. They were already starting to get more of a payout from the league because they had better television ratings. The league and the way they acquiesced here was they will heighten that now. So now the teams that get the best television ratings, and FSU and Clemson will swamp the field. Miami's next, but FSU and Clemson will get far better ratings. They have, at least in recent years, than the others. So they'll get far more money. They've agreed, everyone drops their lawsuit. And they've also agreed that if they stay till 2030, that the buyout is now about $100 million, which is significantly less than it would have been. And it is going to end in 2036. So at the end of the day, it's over. I think FSU probably helped itself a little bit. But I think the message, and I said this on the program yesterday, this is not an FSU thing or a Clemson thing. This is not to demean either of those programs in terms of how good a football. They're both wonderful football programs with wonderful heritage, bunch of national championships at those two schools. Since 1993, they got 5. Well, since 1980, they got 6, but since 1993, they got 5 between them. I mean, they're two good football programs, and they will continue to be good football programs. Their teams might be up and down. FSU wasn't very good last year. But where I think they failed miserably is where in the world did they ever get an idea that those leagues wanted them if they didn't? Now, I might have thought they wanted them. I can certainly understand if you're FSU. I certainly understand how you're thinking, hey, why wouldn't you want us? And I get that. But I'll be darned if I would have done any of this if I didn't know that they wanted us. What has come out of this, and my friend Matt Hays said this from day one, he said, and Brett McMurphy said it too at the SEC Media Days, he and Matt were kind of working on the same story, but I think Matt was ahead of it. Matt said, and I'll tell you this too, I always say this, when someone says, trust my sources, well, if you know them, Hayes, you have a pretty good idea who their sources might be. Even those sources, people don't give away their sources. Well, I'll tell you this much. Here's what I can tell you. Matt Hays, I'm not gonna reveal Matt's source because he didn't tell me who his source was. I'll tell you that he and Greg Sankey are very close. And Greg Sankey and Tony Batiti have gotten very close. So when Matt Hays on our radio station and now works for USA Today says this is going to fail miserably because the SEC and the Big Ten don't want to expand anymore, how did the FSU and Clemson people not know that? That's my question. And look, I get it. You've got wonderful football programs. You have every right to think those leagues would want you. But clearly they didn't. Nothing changed. A lot of people say this is the way it is, and then when it doesn't happen, well, it changed. Matt Hays said, and Brett McMurphy, the two writers, Matt, our buddy from our radio station, and Brett McMurphy, one of the most respected college football writers anywhere. And Brett took a beating from the FSU fans. Brett and I had this conversation at the SEC Media Days at dinner one night. He said, "Listen, I'm not trying to disparage FSU. I'm telling you, I know the SEC and Big Ten don't want them because other than Notre Dame, they don't want anybody anymore." So I don't know that FSU hurt itself greatly. If it winds up getting a little better piece of the pie because it has better ratings, okay, good for them. But I wonder how many tens of millions of dollars they spent getting to where they may get a little bigger percentage of the pie and getting a little bit embarrassed by desperately trying to pull out of a league when the other league doesn't want you. And that's exacerbated by the fact that, oh, by the way, they had a terrible football team last year. Now, again, this could have been, if I'm the SEC, if I do expand again, that's probably who I want, by the way. If I'm expanding again, maybe want North Carolina because of the geography. The SEC has never gone, sorry, SEC fans, the SEC's never gone and gotten to school because of its academics. It just hasn't. But that doesn't mean they don't have some good ones in there, but they just haven't. But if I'm the SEC and what are they, at 16 now?
Yes.
If I'm going to 18, I'm the SEC, those are the two schools I go get.
But they're never going to have to do that.
But I don't think I don't know about ever, but it was clear in this cycle they weren't doing that. My question is, how did FSU not know that? And if they did know that, why did they go forward with all the histrionics? That's my question. It's not to rip on FSU, but how did you not know that going in? I think that would be my question.
Yeah, and Matt's also pointed it out that in his reporting that Florida State, because of how they handled it, was also viewed as a bad partner. Like, why would we want to add them when they have a conniption fit whenever they don't get their way? And so, I do think it worked against them being sort of on the forefront of the crusade. Clemson sort of just came along, after a couple of months. Clemson was like, well, I guess we'll join them. But Florida State was always the face of the resistance when it came to getting out of the ACC. And, the SEC and Big Ten were smart. I mean, they didn't give away their hand because I think they were fearful of being charged with and sued for tampering. So I think they just basically were like, look, we're giving no clues here. We're not talking about this one way or another. We are out. I think ultimately it's fine. Florida State stays in a league that is always going to be easier to win than the SEC will ever be, and probably the Big Ten will ever be. So from a football standpoint, I think it helps there. They'll never close the gap between the SEC and Big Ten teams in terms of annual revenue that they're getting. But this model certainly helps create a variable that should historically help Florida State earn some more money. But I think ultimately it has to be viewed as a negative because Florida State had this belief that all they had to do was say, we're single, and everybody in the neighborhood would come running to ask them out. And no one knocked on the door.
Yeah,
so that's gotta offer some humility towards you as a school.
Yeah,
but
and the problem there too is there was only two other people they wanted to date. It's not there was only two prospects. And once you become single, there's only two prospects to date. I don't find myself thinking if I was the SEC or Big Ten, I wouldn't worry about the bad partner stuff. I think FSU's been a very good partner for the ACC. It elevated the football conference to heights it never could have reached before. I think it elevated Clemson.
But it got ugly in the last 2 years.
Oh, no question. But I would. I'm just telling you, if it was me, I wouldn't worry that they get in here, they'll be a bad partner. I don't think they're going to be a bad partner if they're sitting there next to Florida, LSU, and Alabama, Auburn, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia.
But Sankey did.
Yeah. Well, he might. Yeah, maybe he did. And maybe that's what Matt was saying. I think part of it was they were all frustrated. I think Sankey's frustration was you're implying that we want you, and we don't. And does that make the Big Ten and SEC look like they're trying to pilfer again? Look, the SEC and the Big Ten took some beatings for that. They took some beatings for going and stealing Texas, Oklahoma, and the Big Ten really took it for stealing 4 schools that were on the far coast. And
then something that we never could have foreseen happened. They're now getting along and are partners.
Yeah,
the SEC and Big Ten.
Correct. And so I think my question is, I don't think FSU hurt itself on the field. It probably did make a few more dollars from the payout. The ACC had to acquiesce to a point to get the lawsuits to go away. But I just wonder, with all the stuff, was it worth it? I think that would be, and I would have to believe, in my opinion. And by the way, Ira Schofel, who's a wonderful journalist from warchant.com who knows FSU better than anyone, thought by next year they'd be in a different conference. So did I. I said on the radio show, I believed they would be in the Big Ten or the SEC by 26. I was dead wrong, but I did believe it.
I thought the same thing because Florida State was so
convincing.
I mean, taking a sledgehammer to the ACC that I felt like, well, they must know where they're going.
How could they stay given all this? So anyway, it's over now. FSU and Clemson remain in the ACC. I don't think you'll see a lot of teams changing place. I think that's about this cycle is now over. I don't know who else could go anywhere. There might be, maybe someone from the WAC goes to the Mountain West, but as far as little conferences, as far as big conferences, I don't think.
I think we're done.
I think we're done, and I think we're done in FSU and Clemson State. Back in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Making spring a Jacksonville thing.
What a week! Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Enhanced by
Magnify Medical, Surgical, and Cosmetic Dermatology, San Jose Collision, and Doorbell Farms Produce Delivery.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. If they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
If you never saw Zeppelin live, now you can know what it's like. And if you did, relive the magic of Led Zeppelin live. Get the Let Out is back at Florida Theater, March 12th. Get the Let Out. Find out what it felt like to see Zeppelin live. Get tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
I'm Max Fink, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Freshened up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Dick in here, beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res. Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. In the past 10 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting, and still, Awaken 180 continues to stand alone as the proven solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind.
You looking forward to going to see the Eagles in the Sphere?
I am.
I've heard people that saw that show.
Yeah.
Said it's Baselli went. Some other buddies went. Said it's amazing. Said the Eagles in the Sphere is fantastic.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers for it in terms of the effects. But one thing that I did see that looked really cool is I think it's during Lying Eyes, the lyrics fall down.
Oh wow!
And so it looked like a really cool effect.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Have you seen the Eagles?
I have not.
Okay. I've seen them 14 times, and but not in the Sphere. So I think you'll really enjoy that. The Beach Boys. Mike Love's going to join us in about 15-20 minutes. Mike Love's 83. Bruce Johnston's 81. He still plays. They lost some members of the Wilson family. Both Dennis and Carl are not with us anymore, and Brian isn't touring with them. Al Jardine, I don't think, is touring with them. But you ready for this? With members in their 80s, they're going to be here in St. Augustine, which is going to be a fan. I know a lot of people going to that show. That's Saturday night. They're going to be here in St. Aug. Hays, they are playing Wednesday, tomorrow, in Melbourne. They're playing 2 shows Thursday in West Palm Beach, 2 and 7:30. They're playing Friday at the Strawberry Festival in Plant City. They're coming here to St. Augustine on Saturday, and then they're going to Sumterville. Hey, that's the Villages, right, JJ?
Correct.
In the Villages area on Sunday. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6 shows between tomorrow and Sunday, and they're playing and they're traveling and playing in their 80s.
That's incredible.
It really is incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is.
It is. I mean, because you think of we marvel at the Rolling Stones still doing tours, and I'm not. This isn't a criticism. It's just how they do it, and it makes sense. But they'll have a show, 4 days off, and then their next show.
Right.
So it's to be pulling 2-a-days. Yeah. Are you allowed to still do 2-a-days?
Is
that the union hasn't shut that down yet?
I guess in rock and roll you are. Yeah. So the Beach Boys, really one of the great bands of all time. Rolling Stone called them. They went into the Rock Hall in 1988. Rolling Stone has called them the 12th greatest band of the 100 greatest artists of all time. They call them 12th. That's pretty good acclaim.
Without a doubt.
Of the 500 greatest albums of all time, according to Rolling Stone, Pet Sounds is second.
Wow.
Think of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Now, Pet Sounds is a marvelous album, but it is regarded as the second best album of all time. We were talking during the break of fabulous movie Love and Mercy about the making of it, and a lot about Brian Wilson. So, but Brian is not traveling with them, and his 2 younger brothers are no longer with us. But Mike Love will join us in just a few minutes.
And next time my grandma complains about anything, I'm going to show her Mike Love's schedule.
Absolutely. The next time I complain about anything, as a matter of fact. So you're exactly right. So that'll be an awful lot of fun. Let's get to college basketball for a second. I want to get to free agency in the 5 o'clock hour after headlines. Let's start with JU. If they win tomorrow night or Thursday night, they will have been in the conference championship game 3 times in the last 4 years. That doesn't mean winning it. And you got to win it to get to the NCAA tournament, so they still haven't made the tournament. They extended Jordan Mincy for 10 years 2 years ago. 10 years. Now, you don't see many 10-year deals. They signed him a 10-year deal. They are building an arena. The arena is going to be down by the river. That I can tell you that thing's moved forward. It's going to involve some city land. It's going to involve some city operations and some city funding. But they're going to have probably a 2,000-3,000 seat arena. I think that's right. It's part of a much bigger village of youth athletics and whatnot. I really believe the Jordan Mincy era could resuscitate JU basketball. I really believe it could happen. I don't know if they're headed to be in Gonzaga or Butler, which is the goal, but I do believe there's a possibility that program could certainly become Liberty or what Gulf Coast was if that happens. I'm impressed by what they've done there. I truly am, and you and I got to watch it firsthand last night. And look, the ASUN's a good league. UNF had a disappointing end this year, but certainly had a great start to their season. There's a lot of good. But I think there's a chance JU could be resuscitated by what they're doing now. And I think winning tomorrow night would be a great step or winning Thursday night would be a great step in that direction.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's nice to be able to recruit to, I think, a big city, so that helps, in terms of the airport, in terms of, the beach and, if players are interested in other golf or other things like that, you can do that here. The weather's fantastic. We live in an NIL world across Division I basketball, and you don't have to pay state income taxes here. So, that's something that probably is a little further down the list in terms of things that you would highlight. But look, if you're making $100,000, to play basketball at JU, that's nice that you don't have the state income tax on it like you would if you were playing at North Alabama or, some of these other schools in the ASUN. Obviously, it all starts with Jordan Mincy, though. I mean, it starts with having a basketball coach that is energetic, he's done a really nice job of evolving. Like, when he got here, it was, okay, he came from Florida, worked under Mike White, strong defensive background, but the offense was lacking. So they got, early on, they relied on, that tenacity, playing great defense. I mean, I remember the first time I watched JU play in person under Jordan Mincy, and I looked at you like 5 minutes in, and I said, this defensive intensity is incredible.
I remember that. I remember the moment.
And, and so I think, though, this season, Jordan Mincy has shown the ability with his staff and how he goes about it to become more well-rounded. They're much better shooting from distance now. Offensively, they're well-rounded. So, yeah, I mean, look, I have no idea how they're going to fare. Like you said, they split the regular season. Each team won on their home floor. JU will probably be an underdog, a slight one. But, yeah, if he could get that big break, if they could win the next 2, I mean, he's somebody that I think you'll see CBS and ESPN and all the outlets that cover the tournament. JU would be a fun story. And from a recruiting standpoint, once you get that, now you can go get kids in the portal. Now you have a better chance at recruiting this state and landing some kids in this state that maybe ordinarily might have gone out of the state. So yeah, I mean, they're on the doorstep, but they got to kick it down. They've got to play 80 more minutes of great basketball, and then I think sky's the limit.
2 teams they play, if they continue to move on, if they play North Alabama, well, they are going to play North Alabama. That's the team they split with, but I will point in both one on their home court, to your point, but I will remind that Steph Payne didn't play in that game. Hays and I were talking about it last night. Jay's got some other 6'9", 6'10" guys, but he looks like a power 4 player. His body, his athleticism. We talked about it. Hays had a great stat last night. He read it again today on the program. In the first half, he was +9 in points while he was on the floor, and he played 7 minutes. And every other JU player was minus.
But they were down 11 at the half.
They were losing 11.5, and he was +9.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah, and so, but you could just tell, even if the numbers, Hays and I were sitting at press row, you could kind of see how different they are when he's in there. He's broad-shouldered. He's altering shots. He scored 10 points, but more than that, he was altering shots. He was rebounding. He was changing the game. The game was different when he was in there.
And Eastern Kentucky was very cognizant of him.
Yeah, very
You could tell they were very, very aware of him at all times.
They went to the
and
basket.
It bothered them.
They went to the basket differently when Payne was in there.
Without a doubt.
And they did not have Payne when they lost at North Alabama. So for what that's worth. So, all right, we're going to talk more basketball and football in the next hour, but we'll take a break. When we come back, Mike Love, the founder, one of the founding members of the Beach Boys, 6 decades they've been doing it. And they're continuing to do it. They'll be in the St. Augustine Amphitheater on Saturday. Mike Love scheduled to join us after this. It's on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Put some wedge in your next chassis adjustment.
He said he was a little bit free.
This Sunday at Phoenix, NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on your NASCAR station. 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Happy New Year from Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie here. Start 2025 off right by keeping your car running smoothly. Whether you're traveling for work or heading out on a weekend getaway, their expert technicians will ensure your vehicle is in top shape. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule maintenance, repairs, or tire service. With Big Chief Tire's trusted care, you'll tackle every journey ahead with peace of mind. Start the year strong. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman. We take you from the water to the woods.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Take your taste buds to One Night Taco Stand for Taco Tuesday. Get $2.99 tacos and $6.99 specialty drinks. The 1010XL restaurant of the day is One Night Taco Stand, Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town. Setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
Hey, Poker
poker fans, the stakes are high this month as Best Bet dishes out over $550,000 between Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the St. Augustine poker rooms. Feeling lucky? How about $300 every 15 minutes at the table games, or cash in on the $20,000 race to a race, or every Friday, $1,000 every 30 minutes. And go for the green on St. Patrick's Day, where a Royal Flushing Clubs wins up to $5,000. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods, and I'm proud to say that Underwoods is the longest-standing member of the American Gym Society in the state of Florida. That's important because the American Gym Society promotes professionalism inside the business, and most important because of how it protects the customer. Gemstones are like most things, and you have to have the knowledge about them before you can tell the truth about them. That's where the American Gym Society fits in. They're the organization that certifies gemologists and registered jewelers and certifies sales associates with professional titles. Then, to ensure that we stay up to date with these gemological advances, we re-win our titles by passing a written test every year. And now I'm proud to say Underwoods has the largest credentialed American Gem Society staff east of the Mississippi River. So if you're interested in diamonds and jewelry and want real professional help, stop by Underwoods.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's exclusive 31-day spring event. Experience superior craftsmanship and timeless design with buy one, get one 40% off custom replacement windows and patio doors. Enjoy the ease of zero down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Over the weekend, the Gators baseball team got the series win over the Miami Hurricanes. After a 6-2 win Friday and a 6-3 win on Saturday, the Gators fell 13-7 to the Hurricanes on Sunday. Here's Gators manager Kevin O'Sullivan on his decision to play some younger, inexperienced guys while trailing on Sunday.
Obviously, we're trying to, not look ahead, of course, to Tuesday, but we do have two quality midweek games. We're down by quite a bit. I think we're down by 5 at that point, so it wasn't the results he wanted. But but you still got to think ahead on who's going to start on Tuesday and who's going to, potentially who's going to start on Wednesday. So two quality teams too. So
the Gators will take on UCF down in Orlando tonight, and then play FAU in Gainesville tomorrow for two great midweek matchups. It's 70 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Well, she got her daddy's car and she cruised to the hamburger stand.
Welcome back to the program. Glad you're with us here on this Tuesday. Frank Frangie along with you. And for 6 decades, one of the great rock bands of all time, the Beach Boys, have been entertaining audiences all over. And we are blessed that they're heading to our area on Saturday. They'll be at the amphitheater in St. Augustine and the great Mike Love, one of the co-founders of the band, joins us now on 1010XL. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Thank you, Frank. But also you didn't mention that I'm the uncle to the nephew Kevin Love, which is relevant in the sports field.
You better believe it is. Absolutely it is. You're connected in all kind of different ways, Mike. Absolutely right. So,
Sports and music runs in the family and has for decades.
And that is awesome. How's the tour going? Boo, you guys are busy, man. A lot of tour stops, Mike. How's this thing going? Having fun?
Fantastic. We had 2 shows at the beautiful Performing Arts Center in Naples just on Sunday, an afternoon and evening. It was sold out like 3 months in advance, which is an amazing thing, which is great to see. And we're going to be doing the Florida Strawberry Festival the day before, the afternoon, like a 3:30 show in Plant City.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to stick around. We're going to come to St. Augustine because it's a fantastic town. And I remember doing some great concerts in Jacksonville too, right over the river with the symphony, and we go way, way, way back. You know,
Mike, I've been at 2 of those. I've been 2 of those right there at Met Park, right there on the river. The one with the symphony and another. So I believe me, I know, and I love it, and I love your work. I mean that sincerely. What keeps you guys going? What keeps you guys continuing to do it and continuing to put out this great music?
Really, it's the audience response that inspires us to keep going, because now we have our original fans who are in their 70s and 80s, like I am, and their kids and their grandchildren, and entire families will show up to a lot of our shows, and it's so great to see everybody getting along to our music. It's so many good vibrations out there, and it's just fantastic. I love it. There's never been a time in my life where there wasn't music, because my mom was a complete music aficionado. She sang light opera on the radio, and I grew up in a house with a grand piano and organ and a harp. I have 2 sisters that play the harp, and in fact, my sister Maureen played the harp on some of our earlier songs. And so, it's just been a lifetime of music. My cousin Brian and I sat down at the piano together and came up with some great songs that people still love to hear to this day. And among them being Good Vibrations, California Girls, I Get Around, Fun, 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 Surfing USA, And the Pet Sounds album was God Only Knows, Sleep John B, Wouldn't It Be Nice? We do them every night. And my son Christian took over from Carl, because my cousin Carl Wilson sang God Only Knows on the Pet Sounds album, but that was 1966, and he died 26 years ago from lung cancer. But my son Christian sings God Only Knows beautifully to this day. And then Kokomo came along in 1988, and we were on Full House with John Stamos. He loves to come out and play with us, It was just a fun thing. He's a damn good drummer.
I have no doubt. Listen, I'm a big fan. Let me take you all the way back. As people know, it was you and the Wilsons were your cousins, and you and Brian kind of started this thing. What was that like when you came along and nobody knew who the Beach Boys were, and these guys are singing about surfing and people are falling in love with it? Mike, what was it like when you'd see that big audience for the first time and you'd live it for the first time? And take us through those moments of what it was like for these young guys all to feel all that.
Well, first of all, our first record was called Surfing. Yep. I went fishing off the Redondo Beach Pier with cousin Dennis, and he came back to the house and said, "Dad, the surfing is so popular. Not Dad, Brian, his older brother." And I was a year apart with Brian, and we were buddies. We were just into sports, and we went to each other's games and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we came up with a song, the first one that talked about literally the sport of surfing. And then that caught the attention of Capitol Records. That was Surfing Safari. We recorded that album in 1962, and we did a Disney Plus documentary that we got back together about a year ago at Paradise Cove, which is near Malibu, and filmed several of us getting together and singing. My cousin Brian, Alan Jardine, Bruce Johnson, who's with us today, and filling David Marks. And we were singing and reminiscing, and my cousin Brian was remembering stuff from high school days that, frankly, I hadn't remembered. So it was just really great that we're doing this album. We did this album in 1974. It came out called Endless Summer.
Right.
And it sold 3 million copies, and so by now it's even more. But we're doing 18 of the 20 songs in that album in our show. It's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing. I had them all in vinyl. I can honestly tell you that. So I get it. We all remember the surfing songs, and that's how we all fell in love with what you do. But then Pet Sounds came around, and is regarded today is one of the greatest albums in the history of music, not just rock music, in the history of music. Tell me about Sloop John B. and God Only Knows and Wouldn't It Be Nice and those great songs from Pet Sounds. What was it like recording that album?
Amazing. The tracks, there were effectively two groups. My cousin Brian left the group in November of '64 and concentrated on just music, And it worked out pretty well because in '65 we had California Girls. '66, Barbara Ann came out and was a big hit in the in January that year. And then the Pet Sounds album came along in the middle of the year, and the Good Vibrations came out in November '66. And on the strength of Good Vibrations, we were voted the #1 group in Great Britain, #2 being the Beatles. So that was pretty awesome. So, those songs, those tracks were done by Brian Wilson while we were away on tour in Japan, and we came back and sang our parts. But when you listen to those tracks, oh my God, how did he do that? Right. I mean, he had the best musicians and a lot of symphonic stuff, and the arrangements of the tracks were just unbelievable. So, and we worked our buns off doing the vocals, the harmonies, and we must have done one part of Wouldn't It Be Nice about 25 times. Wow. And I started calling my cousin Dog Ears because he could hear things that human beings couldn't,
Yeah.
And so, but we were going for the perfection vibe on those things. And so that was always driven us to do the harmonies perfectly. And so that sound that we came up with, people loved it. And it wasn't about money or fame or any of that stuff. It was about the love of harmonizing together. And I think that love and harmony affects so many people all around the world. We had fan letters from Russia, fan letters from China. I met a real estate agent from Iran who said they had her LPs in the summer where they summered on some Black Sea or something. And from Saudi Arabia, I met the ambassador to Saudi Arabia in the 80s. He says, "I'm a fan, Mike. I had your cassette in my Austin Healey when I was going to school in England."
Wow.
So, I mean, the songs reached all over the world, and it's just so fascinating.
Yeah, I think they still are. Mike Love with us, a founder of the great Beach Boys. Let me ask you, when you're around this long, you have to go through transition. You guys lost Dennis Wilson way too early. How hard was the transition then? Because that's a family member, and then the transitions that have happened since then.
It's hard because it's your cousins, your family. We used to sing Christmas carols together and run around the neighborhood. And if we passed our Jewish friends, we'd lay something light on them like Jingle Bells. But then Away in the Manger and was down the road, But I mean, we're family. We live together. We every occasion, birthdays, holidays, 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Christmas, Easter, it was all about music. And so that was just a part of our life. And so we're blessed to be able to keep on doing some great songs that people still love, and multiple generations, entirely families have bonded over music and stuff. Yeah, so it's so special. It's just really, really wonderful. So I can't tell you how grateful I am to be able to do what we do and have people still appreciate our music and to see the audience response. That's so uplifting for me as a co-writer and a singer in the band that created that music. It's just, I miss our the guys that aren't able to do it anymore because they're not with us. And Brian has had a tough time health-wise for several years. Yeah. And he's taken a wheelchair to a walker or a walker to a wheelchair or something. So physically he's not doing great, but his long-term memory is right there.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Well, final thing here. What when in St. Augustine at 7:30 on Saturday night, what should people what are they going to see, Mike? Are they going to hear all those great Beach Boys sounds? What should they expect when they come out to see you on Saturday night?
I love to start retro. I like to do a surfing song, Surfing Safari and Catch a Wave in Hawaii. And we even do a Ramones song called Rockaway Beach, which kicks ass. And then Surfing USA. And then Surfer Girl. And then I like to do some of our car songs, our Don't Worry Baby, our 409, our Shut Down, I Get Around. We end up with fun, fun, fun. It's a fun song. Our last 4 songs are Good Vibrations, Kokomo, Barbara Ann, and Fun, Fun, Fun.
Wow.
How can you go wrong?
Wow.
In the meantime, we've already done God Only Knows Slip Jumpy, Wouldn't It Be Nice, and a whole bunch of stuff. It's really fun. We do 2 hours of music, an hour with the 20-minute intermission, followed by another hour. And that venue, the amphitheater in St. Augustine is not overly large. It's a good size, but it's not one of these humongous places. And the place rocks when we do our stuff.
I have no doubt, and I can't wait. Mike Love from the Beach Boys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you spending the time to join us, and love that you have a busy tour. I love that you're coming this way. Mike, thank you so much for spending some time. I'll be there Saturday night. I'm glad you're on with us. I'll be there. I can't wait to see your band perform. So thank you so much for spending some time.
Maybe you should say a few words before our opening tape and just welcome the crowd or something.
You know what?
Anyway.
You're too big for me, Mike. I'm just one of the guys in the crowd.
No. Let's be real. I think it's fantastic when Jack Sports Radio talks Beach Boys. I think it's fantastic. And that's why I started talking about Kevin, because that can relate.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you. Thanks for spending some time. Have fun on this tour, my man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank, for having me. All right.
You're more than welcome. Mike Love, the great Mike Love, and he and Brian Wilson formed the band and started the band, and I know right now Steve Carlyon is listening and having a big time, his favorite band. So what a thrill it was to have Mike Love on the program. We appreciate it very, very much. Let's take a break. When we come back, Hays has headlines. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Where electrifying moments come to life.
Inside of a minute to play.
And legendary performances lead.
A monumental milestone in a legendary career.
1010XL. The power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
The 3 words I'm about to say are the ones everyone wants to hear. Ready, set, go. To the Ready, Set, Go sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. Mia here. The Arlington Toyota lot is jam-packed with inventory. There's over 800 vehicles to choose from. And as if saving big on a new Toyota wasn't enough, you also get Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange with your purchase. Let's go and shop the Ready, Set, Go sales event at Arlington Toyota now through March 31st. In person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295 or arlingtontoyota.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
My name is Ann. I'm 67 years old. I lost 25 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. I have so much more energy. I feel at least 20 years younger. I can run up the stairs now where it was a little bit hard for me. My knees would always hurt. I had shoulder pain. I've had elbow pain. I think it's all pretty much from the weight that I had on my body, on my frame. It feels amazing that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life. The fact that I have free coaching when the weight loss process is over is absolutely amazing to me.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. Less joint pain, more energy, reducing medications. The benefits of losing weight with Awaken 180 are endless. The ability to maintain that weight loss, priceless. Free support for life. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
It's the Gator Podcast Channel with Frank Frangie and me, Dan Hicken, on all things Gators. Hacker and Denny Thompson have Gator Bites, and you can find them wherever you find podcasts or at 1010XL.com. Presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
AC replacement? Not warming up when you want it? If your HVAC unit is close to calling it quits, make sure you call Florida Home AC. With over $4,500 in buyback and tax credits waiting for you, take advantage of it. 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
When was the first cruise ship voyage?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The first cruise voyage was on the Princess Victoria Louise, which set sail on her maiden voyage in January of 1901.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
The First Tee Tour Card is back for 2025 and better than ever, with access to over 15 of North Florida's best courses and new this year, local participating businesses. This card is your ticket to saving hundreds. First Tee North Florida is a local nonprofit who build character in youth participants through the game of golf. This annual fundraiser enables this amazing organization the ability to build game changers. Grab your tour card for just $99 at tourcard.org. for a list of participating partners, benefits, and restrictions.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, first off, what a great interview.
Wasn't he great? Well, wasn't Mike Love great? I mean, he's 83 years old and loves what he does, and the amount of shows. You count those two, they're going to play 8 shows in about 6 days, and his enthusiasm for his music, I thought it was just fantastic. I've never interviewed him before.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody else my age, there's the law that when you're in mid-60s or above, you had to have loved the Beach Boys. and I was so excited doing it. He was great. He was great, and I was lukewarm on the concert. So I've seen him a few times. I'm going now.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go. I haven't figured out who else going, but I'm gonna be there. If I'm there by myself, and my wife goes, I've seen him. I'll go. I'll just drive down myself. Is that Frank by himself? Yeah, I'll be by myself. But I'm not kidding. That was really cool having him on. It really was.
Absolutely, and it was cool that he mentioned the symphony shows that you had seen.
I saw him twice at Met Park. Once with the symphony, and once without the symphony. So I've seen him 3 or 4 times, but twice there. It was cool.
Yeah, it was. Well done. Let's get it to the Jaguars and the NFL draft. The Athletics' Dane Brugler has the Jags selecting LSU offensive tackle Will Campbell with the 5th pick over Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham, who ends up going 7th in Brugler's mock. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Will Campbell would probably project as a guard here. Would you like it?
I think he'd be good. I'd be certainly okay with that. I think he'd be a good pick. He wouldn't be my favorite pick, but again, like the reason I opened the show with this today, if they go sign a big-time defensive tackle in free agency, Hays, in my mind, changes. Dane is doing these mocks. They're all doing the mocks without knowing what happens in free agency. So part of that has to be you're kind of guessing what might have happened in free agency. So if the defensive tackle need is covered in free agency, meaning they wouldn't have to go get Mason Graham, I'd be fine with a very good guard. But my preference, not knowing that, would be the D-tackle spot.
Brugler only projects one trade, but it is at the very top of the draft. He has the Giants trading up with Tennessee to get to the number 1 pick. And that was kind of the buzz in Indy, is that the Giants were a team to watch out for, trading up to number 1 to get their quarterback. I hope Tennessee has to stay put. But what do you think? Would you like that deal for both sides? For the Giants to move up to 1 to get, I'm assuming, Cam Ward, and for Tennessee to trade back a few spots and probably still get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter?
Well, the reality is the Giants are a mess. In the biggest media market in the league, with some heritage, some Super Bowls, recent ones with Tom Coughlin, they gave away the best running back in the league, who might be the best running back in the last 20 years, and they gave him away, Hays. And the quarterback didn't make it. The quarterback they drafted, among all their other problems, their coach is on the hottest of hot seats. They need to do something. So, yeah, why not? If you're the Giants, what in the world are you gonna, does Aaron Rodgers stop by for a year? I don't think so. I know he's one of the teams. They're one of the teams people are talking about. So why not? And yeah, if you're the Titans, I don't love Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, me personally. I think they're okay. I don't know if Will Levis is the guy, but I think Abdul Carter could be a game wrecker. If I could move back and still get him, yes, I'd be all over that.
Speaking of that running back, the world champion Eagles are rewarding star running back Saquon Barkley, signing him to a 2-year, $41.5 million extension. Barkley ran for 2,504 yards this season, counting the playoffs, an NFL record.
It's funny, and he deserves every dollar of it. The Eagles are really a good story. They drafted a tough physical team. They went and got who's now the best running back in the league. They have a quarterback who had to go to 2 schools to play and wasn't super heralded, but he fits their personality perfectly. The idea, if you're the Eagles, is to keep the band together as long as you can. They've been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years and won one of them. Good for them and good for him.
The Jets have released receiver Davante Adams. The 32-year-old Adams caught 85 passes for 1,063 yards and 8 touchdowns last season, splitting time between Las Vegas and the Jets. Anything left in Davante Adams, and do you have a sense of where he might end up?
I think he's got to go somewhere. He's 32, where they're ready to win right now. Right now. So find a team that is really set at quarterback, that has been winning and needs one more playmaker to put him over the top. I don't love him for the Jags. Older than I think they want to go. I don't know that. Let me rephrase that. Older than I'd like to see him go. I think he goes to a team. Could he wind up in San Francisco, who just got rid of Debo? It's a team like that to me that's ready to win right now. I think that's where he lands.
I would agree. The deadline to franchise tag players has passed. Just 2 players got tagged this offseason, Cincinnati receiver T. Higgins and Kansas City right guard Trey Smith.
Yeah, and listen, the franchise tag comes with a big price. Number one, you got to guarantee a bunch of dollars, top 5 at the position. And you know what, Hayes? It comes with some bitterness. You know, even though it was meant to protect teams, more times than not, the franchise tag draws an emotional wedge, I think, between the team and the player, which is why I don't think you see it as much.
Let's get to college football. Florida State and Clemson reach a settlement with the ACC. There will be a new revenue distribution model that will incorporate TV ratings to give schools that are the most watched the most dollars, and the exit fee to leave the ACC will start to greatly reduce as the years play out. Frank, who do you feel like is the big winner in all of this?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this for FSU and Clemson. They're going to make more money than they would have before it all happened. And if they want to leave the league, it's going to be way cheaper than it would have been. So they certainly have some gain here. What I don't know is, was it worth the gigantic dollars they had to spend in legal fee, the irritation they caused with other conference members, the little bit of the embarrassment that everybody knew the end game was to wind up in the SEC or Big Ten, and that was never going to happen. So, yeah, I think financially their situation's better off than before they challenged all this. Was it worth it in the end? I don't know.
Hard Knocks off-season will not feature Bill Belichick's North Carolina program after reportedly some NFL owners got miffed about the deal.
I did not know that.
It's off.
NFL owners said, no, we're not. It's ours, not theirs. Interesting. I did not know that. That's too bad. I was looking forward to watching it, as I know you are.
I know. Yeah, that's they do not like Belichick. That is
that's pretty clear.
That is what we have learned over these last few months. He can't even have a TV show that none of them want to be on.
Let a guy have a TV show for crying out loud. What the hell?
Let's get into college basketball. Number 4 seed JU beats 5th seeded Eastern Kentucky 78-67 in the ASUN quarterfinals. The Dolphins pulled off a furious comeback, outscoring Eastern Kentucky 48-26 in the second half. Robert McCray recorded a double-double, scoring 26 points with 10 rebounds and 5 assists to lead JU. The Dolphins also shot 54.7% for the game. Frank, when that happens, they're not going to lose.
Yeah, you made that point along. When they shoot well, everything else usually works for the JU because everything else usually works anyway. That was a good win. You and I watched it from courtside. I thought it was a tough win. Down 13 in the first half, down 11 at the break, and never really buckling. I thought they kept playing hard. I thought Robert McCray, as he does so often, Robert McCray V, took over the game. He's a handful, man. He is an explosive athlete, and when he takes over a game, and I thought he did take over the game, JU's got a chance, and I think they've got a real chance against North Alabama on Thursday night.
Yeah, JU received a potential break in the bracket. Number 6 Queens College upset 3 seed Florida Gulf Coast, so the Dolphins avoid a trip to top-seeded Lipscomb. Instead, JU will travel to number 2 seed North Alabama in Thursday's semifinals. The team split the regular season meetings.
Yeah, and Lipscomb's the best team. Lipscomb's going to be a tough out, particularly in Nashville. But if JU gets there, they get there on the final day when the game's on ESPN2 and everybody's watching. And, yeah, I like where they stand. If you asked me today, I think they're going to beat North Alabama. I would not have said that if they were going to Lipscomb. I think they're going to beat North Alabama. I'll tell you that right now.
Nice. Number 5 Florida travels to 7th-ranked Alabama tomorrow. Give us an early thought about what kind of game you think we'll see.
It's a game of desperation for both. If the end game is a 1 seed, I think they're both still in play for the 1 seed, but I think either one of them have to win twice. Alabama still has Auburn again. I think either one of them would have to win twice to get that final, what we think's that final 1 seed if Duke, Houston, and Auburn get the first 3. So, yeah, I think it's a tough one for Florida. I don't see the Gators winning that. It's hard to win on somebody else's floor on a regular basis. I think it's a tough one. I think it's a game of offense. I think both teams go up and down the floor on this one. I think the Gators lose in a close one. I'll say this. If they win that game, to have gone into Auburn and Alabama and won both places in the same year when they're this good, they'd be the talk of the nation if they win this game. So a lot at stake for the Gators. I think it's a tough one for Florida, though.
Yeah, as we conclude college basketball here in headlines today, we pay tribute to Hank Gathers, who died on this day 35 years ago in 1990 from sudden cardiac arrest on the court. Loyola Marymount, the most explosive offensive team in the country that year, went on an inspired NCAA run led by Bo Kimball, who shot his free throws left-handed to honor his teammate. Gathers had just turned 23 when he died. He was averaging 29 points a game and 10.8 rebounds during his final season.
Yeah, really sad story. Wonderful player, power forward of the highest measure. That was a really good team. Paul Westhead was the coach. They ran up and down the court. Bo Kimball was a terrific guard. They had a shooter named Jeff Fryer, remember him? Mm-hmm. Who made everything. It was a really fun team to watch. Really sad that the basketball world lost Hank Gathers.
It's stunning that that's 35 years ago.
Wow.
I mean,
really
isn't it?
Every time you do one of these,
yeah,
I can't believe whatever you're talking about or whoever you're talking about, right, it was that long ago.
Unbelievable. Let's get it to media. Jimmy Johnson is retiring from Fox as a broadcaster. What a great run.
Well, talk about years. You realize it was 31 years?
Yeah, I didn't realize
it was that long. On Fox for 31 years.
So he went right. I mean, he went literally Cowboy, or I guess it was Dolphins. Dolphins, 62-7 to the Fox.
Yeah, he went from
studio.
Alltel Stadium or whatever it was called back then, right to the studio. That's what he did. So, what a great coach. What a charismatic character. I think he's going to enjoy retirement on that boat in Key West. That's what he's going to do.
Absolutely. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. We like to highlight anniversaries of special concerts that have occurred in Jacksonville. Today, we are going with Bruce Springsteen, who played the Jacksonville Coliseum on this date back in 2003. It was the Rising Tour. The Boss played a 23-song set, which included 2 encores. He closed the show with this classic, Dancing in the Dark.
And I will tell you, they knocked down the Coliseum about a month later. This was the last event of significance in the Coliseum. I lost my mind at the concert, and I remember going on the air the next day and saying, you can knock it down now. There's nothing left. There's nothing that beautiful building can do to top that. It was one of the great concerts. It might be the best of 15 Springsteen shows that I've seen. It might be the best one. It was that good a show. It really, truly was. Well done, as always.
Thank you.
Back in a moment to wrap the program. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With the NFL Combine wrapping up in Indianapolis, Cameron Ward, quarterback of the Miami Hurricanes, is the betting favorite to be the #1 overall pick, which belongs to the Tennessee Titans. Ward at -200. Abdul Carter, linebacker out of Penn State, is at +160. Travis Hunter, who won the Heisman Trophy this past season as a dual threat player from Colorado, +850 to be the #1 pick. Shedeur Sanders, quarterback of the Buffaloes, at +1,000. Jackson Dart of Ole Miss, +6,000 to be the #1 selection. Ward is also the betting favorite to be the first quarterback selected at -700. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
A customer with an older home and galvanized piping called saying they had poor water pressure. It smelled bad and was discolored. So we at Duck Duck Rooter sent a highly skilled manager to discuss options. How repiping the water lines would solve the issues. The result? Clean flowing water. Call for your free estimate. 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Serving commercial and residential, fully insured and certified plumbing contractor.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interests first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Lots of jewelry stores in the town center, but only one is locally owned, Beard's Diamonds.
We're the only local jewelry store at the town center.
That's Jacksonville's John Lupo, owner of Beard's for over 4 decades.
We're entrenched in Jacksonville, Florida.
In a sea of mega chain jewelers, John says it's easy to stand out because he's not handcuffed by a corporate handbook.
I am not beholden to a corporate structure, so we've got flexibility to do whatever we can and want, and we do.
And that includes lowering prices to undercut them every day.
Quality for quality, color for color, everything the same. We should be able to beat them hands down by minimum 20%. We go overseas ourselves. We know exactly what we're buying. This isn't getting marked up in a corporate structure. We will beat anybody's price anywhere.
So before you buy anything at one of those chains, get a second opinion at locally owned Beard's Diamonds. No corporate atmosphere, no corporate rules, no corporate high markups.
We want you to come shop us and you'll see a lot better price here.
Beard's Diamonds.
Everybody gets a good deal at Beard's.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Getting a pool? David Garrard here. I just did. But before they dug, I called Clearwater Irrigation, and they capped off all my sprinkler lines so the pool company could just dig away.
Then when your pool's finished, we'll install your sprinkler system back to full coverage.
And now my backyard oasis is getting watered beautifully.
And maybe then, Dave, I could take another quick dip.
Bigger swimming trunks, John. Much bigger.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
The Combine, free agency, the draft.
We're professionals. We have a job to do, a season to plan.
Follow the road to the regular season with AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954 and 1010XL.
Out with the old, in with the organized. Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. Freshen up your home this spring with a custom organization solution. For a limited time, take advantage of our spring special and enjoy exclusive savings on closets, garages, home offices, and more. That's 40% off with an additional 15% off with 12-month special financing through April. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation with Closets by Design.
Looking for adventure? Need a machine that works as hard as you do? CF Moto has you covered. At Ride Now Beach Boulevard, we've got CF Moto ATVs and UTVs built for any task, any trail, anytime. Tear up the dirt with the trail-tested C-Force ATV lineup or conquer through terrain with a Z-Force UTV. Find your CF Moto ride today at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or visit ridenowbeachboulevard.com. ATVs and UTVs are for riders 16 and older. They can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends an improved safety training course.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Joe C for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. 10-10-10-10.
10-10 Take.
All right, I will tell you, the 1010 Take is brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. That's duckduckrooter.com. The JU basketball team plays Thursday night on the road against North Alabama. I think they're going to win that game. Under Jordan Mincy, they then will have been to the championship game of the Atlantic Sun tournament 3 of the last 4 years. If they can win again, probably against Lipscomb, who I think they would play on Sunday, that would be the best sign that they'd be in the NCAA tournament, that Jordan Mincy, who's on a 10-year extended contract, is the right guy. They are building an arena. At some point, that arena is going to be built. You'll hear word about it when more is flushed out. It's going to be in conjunction with the city. It's going to be in conjunction with some private owners who are going to develop an area near the river on the JU campus, but it's going to include an arena, and it's going to be magical. JU basketball in a very good place under Coach Jordan Mincy. What a good hire he's been, and what a good extension he's been as well. And that is the 1010 Take. Now, JJ, where we've been.
Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, we've talked a little bit about that JU win last night. Hays and I were both at courtside after doing our show there. Good win for JU over Eastern Kentucky. It advanced them to the semifinals yet again. Jordan Mincy's teams have been to the Atlantic Sun tournament 3 times in his 4 years, and they've always reached at least the semifinal. So good for them. We talked about the FSU Clemson agreement. They have now come to terms with the ACC, so nobody's leaving anywhere. Mike Love from the Beach Boys. Wasn't it great having him on the air? He was really fantastic. He talked about all those years of the great Beach Boy music, and they will be here in St. Augustine on Saturday night, and I can't wait to watch them, and that's exciting stuff. And that is where we've been over the course of the program today.
It's interesting looking at Lenardi's latest projection in terms of the ASUN champion. So he has Lipscomb, but he has Lipscomb as a 13, going to Seattle to play 4 seed Texas A&M in the Midwest. So it got me kind of excited because that would be a really interesting matchup for JU because I feel like they're both kind of the same. Texas A&M is amazing on the glass, but I think offensively they can kind of go into some stagnation at times. So, that would be fun. But, whoever it is, if JU can get 2 more wins, the euphoria that they would have, that campus, and I think how it would perk up, sports fans in the city about what they're doing, it would really be cool. And hopefully they'd get the Friday game.
Right.
So they'd get an extra, and hopefully they'd pull the upset. But you always like being the Friday, I think, because you get that extra day of of buzz and talk and things like that. But be very interesting. I was not happy with Joe Lenardi in his projection in the East because he has Florida as a 2 seed, and that part's fine. But Florida, if they made it to the Sweet 16 and the seeds held, would face 3rd seed St. John's.
Wow. Oh, we can't have that.
Can't have that in the Sweet 16.
Not acceptable.
No.
I'm okay with them playing Monday night, the 9th, in San Antonio, okay? But I don't want anything before the 7th or whatever it is.
Yes.
If they're going to play, let's play that night.
Right.
Okay? So, but interesting stuff. By the way, Lenardi's everywhere now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Every time
This is his time.
Every time you turn around, he's popping up somewhere.
Yeah.
He's the star of stars right now. You're exactly right. Joey Brackett's for sure. So we'll see. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. But you think they win in Alabama tomorrow night, don't you?
I do. I think they'll win. I think it'll be. Look at last year, because both teams are very similar to what they were last year. Alabama's their star last year was Sears. He's back again. And they obviously they play the same way with Nate Oates. So last year, Florida on March 5th in a home game against Alabama, they played 3 times, and they were all late in the year. The first game went to overtime in Tuscaloosa, and Florida lost. But I think at that point, Florida was still kind of trying to figure out, can we really be elite? Is this really where we're headed? And I think they got kind of bogged down in that, a little afraid of their own success in that game. So they come back in Gainesville March 5th. They beat Alabama 105-87. I mean, keep in mind, the team Florida had last year,
right?
This team would kill.
Yeah, way better. Way better.
So they beat Alabama in Gainesville 105-87. They then play in the SEC tournament, where Florida is the least rested of the two,
right?
Because they didn't get the double bye. They beat Alabama 102-88, leading by 24 with 10:35 to play. And, I mean, this is how bad that game was. Alex Klatsky played in the game.
Yeah, they match up very well.
They match up really well, and I don't think much has changed, except I think Florida's better defensively than they were last year. So I think it'll be a lot like the Kentucky game, which is, I mean, was going all the way back to the SEC opener, where Florida went to Rupp. It was an incredibly entertaining game. Kentucky won 106-100. I think it'll be like that, except I'll say Florida's the one with the 106 and Alabama has 100. And I think Florida's going to get the win.
It'll be a fun game to watch. There's no question it's going to be an awfully fun game. I think on all fronts it's going to be a very fun game to watch. I think we're all kind of looking forward to it. So I can tell you I'm very much looking forward to it tomorrow night. And then I think they're going to beat Ole Miss on Saturday.
Yes.
I would then be moderately surprised if they don't beat Ole Miss on Saturday.
I'd be really shocked with that being, Clayton and Richards last game. I mean, Martin to a degree as well, but certainly Walter Clayton and Will Richard.
Yeah, the senior night for those three, because it'll be senior night for all three.
Sure.
And the senior night, well, I say that. Richard's not a senior.
Yes, he is.
He is a senior. Mm-hmm. Okay, so and Martin, I know this. So they are all three seniors. Okay, so it'll be senior night for all three guys. Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're losing to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is good. They're a good team. But I think Florida will be ready. That game, that may not be a buzzsaw game, but that should be a game Florida at least wins.
Yeah. So if you do that, if they sweep, what's your guess on where they'll be seated in the SEC? Will
they'd be the 2 seed?
They would be the 2 seed, no matter what else happens. If they sweep, they're the 2 seed.
Correct.
Okay. If they split, they're the top 4.
They only need one win in their last 2 to secure the double bye,
which means top 4.
Correct. Okay. So they'd either be 3 or 4. I mean, it would depend on
and the
which one they lost.
starts on Wednesday, right? So the double bye gets you don't play till Friday.
Correct.
Yeah. So the double bye means you don't play till Friday, and so I'd be very surprised if they get swept at the end, if they lose Wednesday, Friday. I mean, they haven't lost 2 games in a row all year long. I'd be surprised if that suddenly happened.
And Ole Miss doesn't need the win. Like, they're in. So that helps. It's not like the Georgia game where Georgia had moved to sort of outside the bubble and really needed the win.
Yeah. That's right.
Ole Miss is safely in. They're like, Lenardi has them as an 8 seed.
Yeah.
So they're comfortably in. And certainly losing at Florida isn't going to hurt their resume. So I think that helps, that you're playing a good team, but you're not playing a team that absolutely has got to win the game to avoid having to go to the SEC tournament and win the whole thing to get an NCAA berth.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. So we'll see what winds up happening again. What a run it's been. What a run it's been for this team. We get tomorrow, by the way. I'm gonna start. We got a busy show tomorrow. We got some a guest or two that haven't even announced yet. We also have a Duval County Scholar athlete. We might have Brett Hastings in it. So we got a lot of stuff tomorrow. But I want to, as we look ahead a little bit, I want to start previewing spring practice at both FSU and Florida because they're so different. Florida looks like, Dan and I talked about it on the podcast today, Florida goes into spring with a really good roster, with a good depth chart. I mean, if you look at their positions, there are very few positions where you don't say they're pretty good. I mean, I'm trying to find a hole. They got the 4 of the 5 starting linemen are back. They got to replace the right tackle, but they got about 3 or 4 to choose from. It's amazing. So the question, and don't answer it now, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but the question then becomes, they were very inactive in the portal. 5 guys. One's a punter. So the fact that they did very little in the portal, does it speak to they didn't do a very good job in the portal? Or was the roster so loaded in his mind that he didn't need the portal, nor did he want to add someone in the portal that would mess up the rotation where he wants to be? So we'll certainly talk about that tomorrow. So it'll be kind of fun to kind of delve through that.
And who knows what Florida State's going to
Well,
they're the ultimate wild card.
Yeah, but again, he has proven in the past that he can go and really load up in that portal. I mean, this is the guy that went and got Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and Jordan Travis and Johnny Wilson, and I mean, that doesn't mean he can do it again. But look, say what you want about Mike Norvell. Everyone's down on him now. But once upon a time, and listen, that team won because of the greatness of Jordan Travis. But there are a lot of NFL guys on that team, man. That team was, I mean, to have Verse and Fisk and Jarian Jones and Johnny Wilson and all those guys come from wherever they came from. He's proven he can do it. Obviously, Castellanos, a lot depends on him.
I would be shocked if they don't win 8 games.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I just get the sense
it's inexcusable when they ever don't win 8 games.
I would be too, JJ.
It should be the floor for that program.
The key, Castellanos is the whole key. If he's good, if he's good, he doesn't be Jordan Travis good, but if he's good, then you know what, we'll see. But they're one of the most interesting teams for sure. Baloo's letting them not play a spring game, which bugs me. I thought Baloo had more clout than that. I thought Baloo could get them to play that spring game because I like spring games. Let's say hello to Rick Baloo.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Play a spring game, bro.
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing over there? I can't get
I don't know what they're doing over there.
No, you don't.
Okay, I have no idea what they're doing. But I'm gonna sit around and see what does take place.
Do you like the Beach Boys? You a Beach Boy fan at all?
Yeah.
The
original Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Back when.
Mike Love was on today, and it was really cool. I know you had Burton Cummings on not long ago, and you do a great job with those interviews. But it was fun kind of having him on. It was kind of got me excited about the show a little
Endless Summer is one of my all-time favorite albums. It's hanging in my bar.
Yeah.
The original LP.
The vinyl.
I remember it was right around the same year when it came out, and I remember being in Keene, New Hampshire, when my dad and mom visited my grandparents, and it was both the good and bad because that was the good, and that was also when I saw the first copy ever of Helter Skelter.
Oh.
And it gave me massive nightmares. And, of course, the Beach Boy Dennis Wilson hung with Charles Manson and the family. So that was connected, and that has affected me deeply since that day.
And by the way, I asked Mike Love about how hard was it when you lost Dennis Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
How hard? So, and obviously I wasn't bringing that up, but you're right. I was going through my mind, Rick, when I asked that. This guy was kind of involved with Manson in some capacity.
He absolutely was for a great period of time. And I'm trying to remember who the individual was. It's Doris Day's son. It was Terry Melcher was his name. Was supposed to get him a recording contract, and he did not. And a lot of people think that that's one of the the premier reasons why Manson went on that tear. The other was the fight that the racial riot that was going to start, and he was going to go into Death Valley and all that stuff. I want to talk about this tonight.
Other than that, what are you doing tonight?
We got the latest. We got another draft guest coming up right out of the gate. What an interesting situation this year with the franchise selections. And you just look at all these players getting released. I know I mentioned it, and we had a conversation about it last week. But it really feels like teams are in bad contracts, and they're doing everything they can to get rid of these contracts, even willing to eat an awful lot of dead cap money. So we're going to dive into that tonight as well.
Comes up. All right, Rick. Very good. Rick Baloo goes into the night. You want to be listening. That'll do it for our program. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.